And welcome back inside the Robert J. Collins Arena for game number 2 tonight as the Brookdale men's squad takes to the floor to take on the Camden County Cougars. Tim Calafemo alongside Brian Scoudward. And again, we're calling our second game of the night. We're really excited about this game because every single time these two teams play off, not only either at Camden or here in the Collins Arena, it's always very close games. The last several meetings have been decided with only a handful of points. And right now, Brian, we saw the performance that Brookdale had last week against Bergen. A very, very strong performance, but they lost a few days later up in Union through the Union Owls, 81-79. So a very close loss, a very tough loss, but now they're coming back home. What are you seeing that they're going to be taking on tonight as we take a look at the starting lineups for Camden County College? But what are you going to take a look at tonight that Brookdale is going to have to do to be able to come out with the W?
Well, I think if they play like they did a week ago when we were here against Bergen, they'll be just fine because that game featured just an absolute runaway, a 104-71 victory for the Jersey Blues. And really it started in that game on the defensive end of the floor. I thought it was interesting to hear head coach Paul Chizek say in a game that they scored over 100 points, it really started with defense. He told us that in his post-game interview, and you know, they got some steals, got some opportunities out in transition, and it was right about at the halfway mark of that game that they sprung it open to about a 20-point lead, of course after falling behind 8-0 right out of the gate, but turned the tides around and turned in a dominating performance. And you know, one thing I really came away impressed with was the depth of this team. Now, they're not going to be quite as deep tonight as you tell me, Kyle Bradshaw will miss this game. He was so impressive last week, one of the players in the starting lineup. But if they can do a lot of the same things that they did against Bergen a week ago, they should make it another competitive game here tonight.
It should be close. Again, several of the last meetings have been decided within a handful of points. The last time these two teams played each other was up in Northampton in the Region 19 semifinal, where Brookdale was able to edge Camden by 2 points, 74-72. Again, the starting lineups, we show them just for you just for a second. I'll just run down the starting 5 for the Cougars. It's going to be, as there you see, excellent. Pops up on the screen, Rahem Burnett, along with Eric Davis, Anthony Jackson, Javier Worthy, and Justin Williams will be the 5 starters on the floor tonight for the Camden Cougars. And then on the other side for the Brookdale Jersey Blues, it's going to be Kerry Kirkwood alongside Zachary Okanali, James Wright, Sky Harris, and Jordan Little. Again, Camden comes out in their away blue uniforms with white lettering and white trim, while Brookdale comes in with their very sharp white uniforms with a mix of red and orange lettering and blue trim. Opening tip controlled by Jordan Little for the Brookdale Jersey Blues, and we are underway here in the Collins Arena. This is Kerry Kirkwood dribbling with the basketball. Gives it over to James Wright in the corner. Wright now drives inside and gets the layup to go. So right off the bat, Brookdale gets on the board.
And a really good start as Wright was able to collect that ball in the corner and just went right to the rim in the easy finish with the right hand.
Now this is Justin Williams. Gives it over to Eric Davis. The shot clock has now gone down to 15. This is Burnett, kicks it over to Worthy, Javier Worthy. Offensive rebound put back up and in by number 15, Anthony Jackson, and we're tied up at 2.
And it's surprising to see Camden get a second chance opportunity when you had the big body of Jordan Little down there, but just couldn't come away with the defensive rebound.
Feed inside to Jordan Little. 1-on-2 downstairs, and Little took too many steps and traveled with the basketball.
You know, I would bet that Little is one of the tallest players in the Region 19 at 6'9". I mean, this guy is just a load down near the paint.
One of the sophomores that came over from last year's team, definitely someone that Coach Chizek wants on the floor. Again, 25th season for Coach Chizek. On the other side for Camden, they're coached by Lou Abatista in his 6th season. Shot clock down to 10. This is Burnett, guarded by Kirkwood. Shot clock down to 6, Burnett. And now we're going to get I believe, a push-off inside on, or maybe a moving screen, rather, on number 11, Eric Davis.
Yeah, I think it was called a moving screen, and you saw that's why there was so much room on that drive to the paint, and Brookdale able to get possession right back.
So again, Kerry Kirkwood gives it to Jordan Little at the foul line. Little drives inside. Some contact, not able to get the basket to fall, and a rebound pulled down by Anthony Jackson. So now Camden, again, trying to get back on the board, trying to take their first lead of the night as we're approaching 2 minutes gone by here in the first half. Davis going to hand off to Burnett. Burnett, and now we're going to have a 3-second call in the paint. I believe that was on number 21, Javier Worthy, and another turnover here for Camden.
And early on, Brookdale doing a good job of forcing turnovers. And now just trying to get into the rhythm of their offense, which they did so well in that matchup with Bergen a week ago.
Inside to Sky Harris after a nice feed by Okalani, and Sky Harris is able to lay it in.
And Sky Harris, the one player who from last week was not in the starting lineup, but with the injury to Kyle Bradshaw, he gets an opportunity and gets an easy basket early on.
So this is Raheem Burnett. Kicks it over to Williams. Williams going to pull up for a three. Back iron no good. Jordan Little snatches that ball out of the air for the rebound. And now here comes Okalani, and now we're going to get a blocking call, I believe, on number 22, Justin Williams. Be the first foul of the night on the Camden Cougars. Actually, they're going to reverse that call. It's actually going to be on Eric Davis, his first, as Justin Williams checks out of the game for the Cougars. And now, just like that, Coach Abatista for the Camden Cougars is going to call a timeout. Down currently by 2 with just about almost 3 minutes gone by here in the first half, as we will take a commercial break. So 17:30 left here in the first half. Second game of the night here for the Brookdale Jersey Blues inside the Collins Arena. Again, the women coming off a tough loss, a 3-point loss to the Camden County Cougars in the women's game that was just prior to our game a few moments ago. And now for the men, they currently hold a 2-point lead, 4-2. As you see there, Coach Abatista on the sidelines. Again, I mentioned him in his 6th season, while Coach Chizak in his 25th season. Interesting, you know, I was talking to Coach Abatista beforehand. Actually, never mind, I'll scratch that in just a second. As we have this inbounds pass, this is Sky Harris underneath, and he traveled with the basketball. But as I was talking about, as you see Coach Chizak there in the monitor, I was talking with Coach Abatista beforehand, Brian, and it was interesting to me because one of the things that he told me, among others, was that he's not 100% confident going into this game. Ordinarily, he would tell me that he's confident playing here in the Collins Arena, but he's not, because a lot of the players on this team are freshmen, so he's a little bit unsure about what he's going to get tonight, as you see that basket there by Burnett.
Yeah, and you know, it's very rare when you ask a coach what he thinks of his team and he tells you, well, you know, I'm a little unsure. That's generally not something that bodes well for a team, so we'll see how Camden responds tonight.
And for Coach Abatista, he's glad to be back on the court. He had a medical scare a couple of days ago where he was actually in the hospital with a problem with his colon. So he is feeling much better today, but is definitely one of those coaches on the sideline who has been here for several seasons now with Camden and is hoping to get a good result this evening.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, wow. I was just going to say the same thing. Eric Davis didn't even remember where the half-court line was and stepped on it.
I don't know that I've ever seen that before. Just unawareness on the court. Eric Davis, he just had no clue where he was.
Wow. So that's a turnover here for Camden. As just like that, I believe Coach Abatista is going to pull Eric Davis out, and coming in for him is Emmanuel Abimbola.
Well, you make a mental error like that, you get put on the bench. That's all there is to it.
So again, Brookdale holds a 6-4 lead. This is Kerry Kirkwood. It's a 2 if it goes. Off the back rim, no good. Weak side rebound to Sky Harris, who puts it in. A nice teardrop rebound put in by Sky Harris, and Brookdale goes back up by 4. So this is Burnett. Gives it over to number 5. This is Andre Allen, who's into the game for the first time this evening. Brookdale sticking with a man-to-man defense. Burnett inside with a floater, doesn't go. And Jordan Little pulls down the rebound. This is Zachary Okalani, and Okalani with a nice drive coast to coast lays it in.
Boy, he was one of the players from last week that I was so impressed with. You could just see the athleticism he brings with him on the floor and could just take it coast to coast easily. Saw that on a number of occasions last week.
Last week against Bergen, he tallied 12 points in that game. Now again, it's a little bit artificial because the last game Brookdale played was against the Union Owls a couple of days ago where they lost 81-79. Offensive rebound there by Allen is rejected by Little. But Coach Chizak just says in that game that he didn't coach very well, not so much that his players were at fault for that performance. Feed inside for Sky Harris, juggled it, couldn't quite set his feet, ball bounced around, and it'll stay here with the Jersey Blues.
Well, it was a nice look there, big man to big man, Little to Harris underneath. Couldn't get the initial shot to go, but Brookdale gets another opportunity.
Raheem Burnett going to go to the sidelines, and I believe we're going to have another substitution here as number 15, Anthony Jackson, comes out. Number 11, Eric Davis, comes in. And number 10, Hanif Alexander, is on the floor for Camden. Little, double teamed. Fade away, it's an air ball. Sky Harris there with the rebound, forces it back up and in.
And in the early going tonight, Brookdale doing a very good job getting offensive rebounds. They're really crashing the offensive glass, creating second chance opportunities.
Allen with a nice jumper there. Closes Camden to within 6 points of the Brookdale lead. This is Okalani. Driving inside again with the right hand and lays it in. Nice soft touch at the rim, and Brookdale now back up by 8.
And you just can't stop that defensively. For a guy his size, driving to the rim, he has such a good handle of the ball, knows where he is at all times, and big-time player.
Javier Worthy is off the mark from the corner, up ahead to, this is right, misses the layup after having it partially blocked away by Eric Davis, and now here comes Camden. 3-on-2. This is a feed for Worthy, and we're going to get a blocking foul called on Sky Harris.
And kind of an awkward hit that Sky Harris took that time as he fell to the floor rather awkwardly. Good to see him walking up under his own power. And it will be free throws here for Camden.
Yeah, that'll be the first foul on Sky Harris, the first on the Jersey Blues, as they're trying to make sure that there's no wet spots on the ground. Speaking of Sky Harris getting up gingerly, he had an injury last year with one of his ankles that he had struggled with towards the second half of the season, so we're certainly not going to hope that that flares up again. He seems to be okay sitting on the block right now, but again commits his first foul of the evening, and it will send number 21, Javier Worthy, the freshman forward, to the free throw line, or he knocks down the first foul shot.
And, you know, if you were to give the class for all the players on the Camden roster, you would say freshmen for every one of them with the exception of one player, and that would be Ronkevis Clardy. But it's a very young team, as the Camden coach told us before the game, and you know, you have pretty much nothing but freshmen he's working with right now.
And that was one of the reasons why Coach Abatista told me that he was not 100% confident coming in, because he wasn't sure what he was going to get out of his players with a very young team. Couple of substitutions on both sides of the floor as Jordan Little is on the sidelines getting his nose, I believe, worked on, as he may have gotten bopped it on the sidelines. We'll check on that. Second foul shot, by the way, by Worthy was off the mark, so Brookdale holds their 7-point lead. Right along 2 is off the back rim, no good, and a rebound pulled down by Allen. Again, Camden way outside of the perimeter. Seems to be a consistent thing for their offense tonight. That was just a miscommunication there between Allen and number 21, Javier Worthy, in the corner. So again, Jordan Little, as I mentioned, getting worked on the sidelines. I believe that he got a elbow to the nose as Athletic Director Pete Fusco is working on him, stolen away there by Alexander, one-on-one with Okalani, and Okalani rejects it. Kept alive, though, for the Camden Cougars. This is Alexander, lost it and gets it back. Gives it off to Justin Williams, who's double teamed. Now Williams loses the ball, and now here comes Wright. One-on-one with Allen, scoops it up and lays it in.
Well, that was really just a beautiful sequence of basketball by the Jersey Blues. The block on one end by Okalani, who just came flying in for the rejection on the fast break, and then Wright cashes in on the other end as they turn defense into offense.
Okalani's 6'4", definitely someone down low that Brookdale will depend on. Inside, this is number 23, Clardy, and Clardy was not able to finish with that one, and a rebound pulled down by Matthew Ringel. Ringel inside now lays it in.
And the really nice assist that time by James Wright as he was on the baseline. Found the big man Ringel underneath. We saw him get a lot of action in the game against Bergen, and another big body for Paul Chisek to go to.
Allen on the running play inside, and the nice jumper from the corner goes. So it's now 18-9 with Brookdale with the advantage. Kerry Kirkwood and his brother Keyshawn are on the floor. Inside, this is Okalani. Tried to get the reverse layup to go and was denied there by Worthy. This is Clardy at the other end. Does not hit the layup. Rebound put back up by Jackson. And now we're going to get a foul underneath, I believe, on Ronkevious Clardy. And I think that'll be the first on Clardy this evening. So a whole host of substitutions as Wright and Okalani go to the bench for Brookdale. Jordan Hernandez, Sky Harris come back in, while Camden is on the floor with Burnett, Allen, Jackson, Williams, and Davis. Keyshawn Kirkwood from the corner, no good, and a rebound pulled down by Eric Davis. Now stripped away by Keyshawn. Kirkwood to the hole, not able to finish. Sky Harris is there to put it back up and in.
Great follow that time by Sky Harris as Kirkwood missed the shot initially, and then the tip-in went down.
Now here comes Brookdale quickly the other way. We have a tie-up at midcourt. And I believe they're going to call number 15, Anthony Jackson, with a reach-in foul. Nope, now they're going to change it. They're going to call it on Justin Williams, number 22. So we'll have to see what number that's going to be on Williams. That's the 14th foul on Camden, as I believe Coach Batista is going to take a brief timeout. So we'll keep it here. Or no, actually, no, we're going to step away to a break. 11:17 remaining. Tim Catalfamo alongside Brian Goudsward will be back for more action right after this.
Welcome to this segment of Brookdale Newsmakers.
Hi, my name is Amy Ferris. Welcome to the Brookdale Visiting Artist Program.
Hi, I'm Tim Catalfamo, and I'm standing here.
Back here in the Collins Arena. Brookdale again has the ball after that timeout. This is Kerry Kirkwood inside. Matthew Ringel goes back up with it after getting the offensive rebound, and he'll be fouled. Matthew Ringel, one of the freshmen that Coach Chisek has raved about in the sidelines, 6'6" from Marlboro, New Jersey, my hometown, actually. Went to Marlboro High School. Ringel's first foul shot is up and good.
And the story so far tonight has been Brookdale's ability to get turnovers, and that's just made everything happen for them on the offensive end of the floor, is turning defense into offense. And you see that's the strength of this team. When they get out in transition, guys like Okalani and James Wright, that's when they're really dangerous.
Second foul shot by Ringel is good. So now Brookdale totally in command in this game, and now we're going to get a foul in the backcourt as number 1, Burnett, was bringing the ball up and I believe was fouled by Jordan Hernandez. That's Hernandez's first foul, and the second foul on the Jersey Blues here in his first half. So Burnett, again guarded by Kerry Kirkwood. The two Kirkwood brothers, Kerry and Keyshawn, are on the floor. And they both look almost identical. Shot goes up from the corner. This is Jackson short on that three, and a rebound pulled down by Little. Now here's Keyshawn Kirkwood over to his brother, Kerry. Keyshawn feeds it to Little. Little gets a face full of defenders downstairs and is fouled.
You're not kidding. I think he got all 5 Camden defenders all in that one swarm down near the basket and able to draw the foul on one of them.
So we'll be interested to see who the foul is going to be on. I think they're going to call it on Anthony Jackson. That'll be his first personal, and it'll send Jordan Little, the 6'9" sophomore from Jersey City, New Jersey, to the foul line as he is a little too strong on the first attempt. Number 3, Isaiah Fields, for the first time, checks in as Andre Allen goes to the bench for Camden. And there's just going to be a switch at the free throw line as Kerry Kirkwood comes in and number 14, Jordan Hernandez, goes back on defense. Little at the foul line. Meanwhile, second foul shot, too strong, so he's not able to hit either one of them from the line. Burnett may have shuffled his feet, kicks it out to Worthy for a 3. It's an air ball and a rebound weak side by Keyshawn Kirkwood. And that was just a miscommunication there as Kirkwood was looking for number 14, Jonathan Hernandez. Kerry Kirkwood goes to the bench as number 11, James Wright, checks back in for Brookdale.
You know, the big thing with the Kirkwoods when you watch them is you get 2 threats to shoot the ball from 3-point range when they're on the floor. A lot of the other guys on this team, more of the cut and slash variety.
This is Fields with his first jumper attempt for the night, and he's off the mark on that one. Rebound, I believe, pulled down by Matthew Ringel. Feed inside the Little. Lays it in.
And James Wright has really good court vision. That's at least the second time that we've seen him take a pass and just know where he's going with the ball down under the basket and get scores.
This is Burnett inside, swatted away by Jordan Little, as Little was having none of that inside the paint. And looks like Matthew Ringel's going to come out for number 12, Zachary Okalani.
And Okalani, we saw come away with that emphatic rejection earlier, and that time it was Jordan Little. Shot blocking, a big part of this team's game.
Shot clock winding down here for Camden. Jackson with the shot clock down to 5. This is Allen, or excuse me, Fields. Now this is Burnett with shot clock down to 2. Puts it up, it's a little short, and Keyshawn Kirkwood able to scoop up the loose change. Now this is Okalani, and runs into a wall of defenders, and I believe we're going to get a blocking foul there called on Burnett. As Okalani literally ran into Burnett, but because Burnett was in the way, they're going to call a foul on Burnett. It'll be his first. And now they're actually going to send Brookdale to the foul line because the Camden Cougars have reached the 7-team foul mark, so this will be a 1-and-1 for Okalani. And able to hit the first one, so he'll get another chance.
And, you know, one thing you'd like to see Brookdale improve on is their free throw shooting. A lot of guys, you look at the percentages, they're probably not where they want to be, and that's where you can make easy money making free throws.
Yeah, right now Brookdale only shooting 50% from the line. Okalani rather, was not able to capitalize on that second attempt and was not able to get the offensive rebound and make the basket. Almost stolen away there by Okalani. Ball on the floor, and now we're going to get a traveling call on Raheem Burnett. Coach Abatista does not like that call, and I may be siding with him on that because there was a lot of contact there on the floor.
Yeah, and Burnett just looking to find a way to give it to one of his teammates. He did a good job corralling that ball while he was on the floor, and I agree, I don't know about the traveling call.
Jordan Hernandez. Now this is Okalani. Again, shot clock starting to wind down. Okalani posting up inside, tried to dump it off to Little. Now this is Hernandez for a straight-on 3, and it's an air ball out of bounds. Mentioned our officials tonight, DeJuan James, John Bowen, and James Llewellyn. Brookdale, again, sticking with this man-to-man defense, which they have stuck with all game. Burnett dribbling around, loses control as he drives inside the paint, and it will go back to Brookdale as Kerry Kirkwood and Sky Harris are going to come into the game. Actually, I'm sorry, only Sky Harris is coming in. Number 14, Jordan Hernandez, is going to the bench.
And right now, you're just not seeing a lot of rhythm with this Camden offense. They're having trouble getting into their sets, a lot of sloppy passes, a lot of what we saw in the first game of our doubleheader, especially early on.
Well, right now, hate to state the obvious, is Jordan Little with a lot of contact down low. Third chance opportunity for Sky Harris, goes out of bounds, and will go to Camden. But stating the blind obvious, Camden has not even broken into the double digits as far as points go, and we've already had nearly 12 minutes of play, whereas Brookdale is 25 with officially now 8 minutes to go here in the first half. This is Alexander, and Alexander may have gotten away with a walk. Coach Chuzak is not happy about it, as you see there on the sidelines.
And Okalani, I think, is going to get called for the personal foul, which will be his first, and just a case of getting over-aggressive trying to go for the steal.
Number 33, Emmanuel Abimbola, goes to the bench for Camden, while I believe number 23, Ronkevius Clardy, checks back in. And now another foul on Okalani at midcourt.
That's a quick 2 personal fouls. And we'll see if this sends him to the bench. Looks like for the time being he'll stay out there, but you don't want to rack up getting into foul trouble early on.
This is Alexander, blocked away by Little. Now here comes Sky Harris up the floor for Brookdale. They have the numbers, and now it looks like they will slow it down and try to set up the offense with Little inside, pulling up the jumper, and is able to knock it down. 27-9. Brookdale closing in on a 20-point advantage. This is number 44, Jameer Clemens, on the floor for the first time this evening. Clardy almost lost control of it, and now he did. This is Okalani with numbers, takes it to the hole, had a nice job blocked away there by Alexander, who just stripped it out of Okalani's hands, went for the ball, not for the face, and avoided committing a foul. And just like that, Okalani, with 2 team fouls, or personal fouls, as we've talked about, Brian, goes to the bench.
And that was a 3-on-1 break for Brookdale, with the one being Alexander, as you mentioned, and a good job by him defensively in the transition defense, forcing Brookdale to inbound on the side.
Kirkwood had some trouble inbounding. This is James Wright, who came in for Okalani. Little off on that shot. Kerry Kirkwood, one of the smallest players on the field, grabs the rebound. Still loose, taken away by Alexander, head of the field, lays it in. And now we're going to get a timeout called by Coach Abatista, as down by 16 at this point, 27-11. He wants to talk things over with 6:47 remaining, and we will take it with him. Back to
Need a place for your next conference, meeting, seminar, or social gathering? Choose the Warner Student Life Center, located on the beautiful wooded 300-acre campus of Brookdale Community College in Monmouth County. You'll have access to 15,000 square feet of versatile event space, state-of-the-art conference facilities, a comfortable lounge, a scenic outdoor patio area, and an award-winning catering service. To learn more, visit brookdalecc.edu/events. That's brookdalecc.edu/events. The Warner Student Life Center at Brookdale Community.
The first half, Brookdale currently leading 27-11 over the Camden Cougars. Coach Chuzak so far fairly pleased, I'm sure, with his team's performance, up by 16, as Camden has struggled to put together consistent offensive plays on the offensive side of the floor. James Wright, it's a 2 if it goes, and it does for James Wright.
And Wright, you know, one of the freshmen, there's a lot of freshmen who are making it happen for this Brookdale team and showing why this team has so much depth.
Andre Allen. Again, the shot clock starting to wind down here for Camden. This is Clardy. Allen again, pulls up, pump fakes, and knocks it down. A nice job. He got Jordan Little in the air and then released the ball and is able to knock down that jumper.
Yeah, and it really was a good defensive possession for Brookdale, but Camden able to get the bucket.
Harris hands off to Wright. He drives inside and a little too strong on that runner in the lane. And a rebound pulled down by Clardy, who switches hands, not able to finish, but his teammate Anthony Jackson is there for the putback.
Oh, Clardy with a very nifty move that time, going behind the back. He couldn't finish it, but then they were able to get it on the offensive glass on the second chance.
Little double teamed inside, and we'll get a foul, I believe, on, is that gonna be Clardy? Yes, I think it will be. So that'll be the second on Clardy, the 8th on the Camden Cougars, and it'll send, once again, Jordan Little to the foul line. Last time he was there, he missed both of his attempts. Knocks the first one down, though. And again, Little, one of those sophomore players that Coach Cusack has depended on to show a little bit of leadership this year. And knocks them both down. Matthew Ringo going to actually come in for Jordan Little, who will go to the bench, I assume, for a quick breather. Camden, though, has got to get something going here as the game is starting to get away with for them. As we're approaching 5 minutes left here in the first half. This is Alexander, looking to go somewhere with it. Now gets it over to Allen. Back to Alexander. And I believe it's going to be a kickball on Matthew Ringel as ball inadvertently hit his foot.
You know, you see watching this Brookdale team on the defensive end of the floor, they don't give up any easy looks, whether it's from three-point range or getting to the basket. Their defense just does a good job of preventing scores.
Almost stolen away there, and it is by Keyshawn Kirkwood. Lays it in. Brookdale definitely firing on all cylinders so far in this first half. And again, they have stuck with this man-to-man defense, which Camden early on didn't have much problem handling, but now having a lot of trouble, as that's going to be another turnover as Anthony Jackson is called for too many steps.
Now Justin Williams will enter the game for the Cougars as they just look for some combination to get into some kind of rhythm offensively, try to get some stops defensively. Whatever they've tried thus far, it just has not been able to work out.
Clardy goes to the bench, as well as Jackson, as Javier Worthy and number 22, Justin Williams, come in for the Cougars. Kerry Kirkwood, top of the arc three. And I believe we're going to get an over-the-back call there on number 23, Sky Harris. Yes.
Yeah, he'll be charged for that one, looking to come away with the rebound, and the over-the-back call turns it over to the Cougars.
One player that you will not see on the floor tonight for Brookdale is James Wright, who is on the sidelines. He is not suited up, the freshman.
Or Bradshaw.
I'm sorry, Kyle Bradshaw, I'm sorry. Kyle Bradshaw on the sidelines has a bad ankle sprain. He'll be back next week, but that will not be one of the players that you will see on the floor for Brookdale this evening.
And we saw some impressive things from him last week, didn't we?
Yes. Shot goes up from Keyshawn Kirkwood, and Kirkwood able to knock it down and continues to extend the Brookdale lead.
And Keyshawn Kirkwood's one of those guys who could evolve into a nice sixth-man role for this Jersey Blue team. You see him come away with the steal, get a fast break layup, and he's already shown the ability to knock down shots from the perimeter as well.
Alexander gives it off to Jackson with 8 on the shot clock, pulls up at the foul line and rattles it home. I'm sorry, that was number 5, Andre Allen, not Jackson. Jackson is on the sidelines. Allen's on the floor. 36-19, Brookdale still with the lead. Coach Chisak all the way out at midcourt directing traffic for his team.
Is that allowed?
Well, if you're Coach Chizek, anything's allowed. Very, very intense. Matthew Ringel spins his way inside and lays it in.
I guess when you've been doing it 25 years, you can get away with more than you might think.
We're going to get a bump there in the forecourt on Keyshawn Kirkwood. Be interested to see what number that is going to be on. That's the first one on Keyshawn. As he checks out, number 14, Jordan Hernandez, and Will Kosis come in for the first time for Brookdale as Raheem Burnett comes back in, for Camden. To be fair, Coach Chizek wasn't at midcourt, but he was significantly far out onto the court, and it's just something that I noticed. But again, nothing illegal there. Shot goes up from the corner by Williams in the left arc, and Matthew Ringel pulls down a tough rebound. Will Kosis touches the ball for the first time tonight. Sky Harris at the foul line, off the mark, and it'll go back to Camden. It's one of our cameramen on the sidelines, right underneath the basket. Brian, what is Camden going to have to do? Right now, I'm not seeing a whole lot of energy, and the shots are not going down.
Yeah, they're just not in good rhythm offensively. Down 19 points. If you're the coaching staff right now, you just want to find a way to get something going, get this deficit down, and give yourself a chance in the second half to come back. But turnovers like that aren't going to help their cause.
Emmanuel Abimbola not able to handle that pass as Matthew Ringel and Sky Harris go to the bench. Jordan Little and Kerry Kirkwood back in for the Jersey Blues. As we approach 2 minutes left here in this first half, Brookdale so far has dominated if you're just joining us. Little double teamed, had the shot partially blocked away. Kosis keeps it alive, puts it up, no good, and a rebound pulled down by Burnett. Ball will stay with the Cougars.
Well, Will Kosis is kind of in that same mold as a guy like Matt Ringel, a guy who can come off the bench with some size, who can rebound, block some shots like Paul Chizek likes to see from his bench guys. And, just all the more reason this team has so much depth.
Coach Batista has been fairly quiet on the sidelines. I'm not sure if it's because he's not sure what to say or he's trying to figure out what to do with his team. Down by almost 20 as that shot gets banked in, I believe, by Abimbola. And just like that, Coach Batista is going to call a timeout. So we will take a break with 90 seconds left here in the first half. Tim Catafamo alongside Brian Galdwards will be back after this.
Hi, I'm Sophia Perola, and welcome to Brookdale's Open House, where high school students, transfer students, families, and the entire Monmouth community can learn more about what Brookdale has to offer. Let's go check it out. Here at the Open House, students can tour the beautiful Lancroft campus, meet the faculty, and find out from over 50 of Brookdale's academic programs. Students can also leave here with tons of information.
Back here in the Collins Arena, minute 30 left here in the first half. The second game of our doubleheader this evening from the Robert J. Collins Arena for Brookdale basketball. Men currently leading 38-21 over the Camden Cougars, and have done so pretty much the entire game. Kerry Kirkwood, three ball from the left arc does not fall, as Raheem Burnett loses it, falls down, keeps it alive to his teammate Worthy, who drives inside and is going to be fouled. Right now, I'm not a whole lot sure what you can say for Camden, as they have just not come out with as much presence on the offensive side, and have at times looked confused, as you see Raheem Burnett go to the sidelines.
And these two teams came in with the same record, both 1-1. Brookdale, we saw a dominating performance in their home opener before a tough loss their last time out against Union. But something about this Collins Arena that gets Brookdale playing their best. I mean, they have just dominated in this building. We talked about that last week.
And an interesting stat for you, Brookdale has won over 102 games the last 4 seasons, many of those coming at home in the Collins Arena, as you saw Worthy make the first foul shot. The second one did not count because I believe Camden had a lane violation. Hernandez able to knock it home from the left arc, and Brookdale continues to roll here as we're under a minute left to play in the first half.
Well, not on pace yet for triple figures, and they put up the 103, but 41-22, they'll be happy with that here this first half performance.
Andre Allen hoists one up. Back iron, no good. Rebound fought for, grabbed by Worthy. This is Alexander, and Alexander knocks one down from the top of the key.
And, you know, one thing you can't do with a big lead is start to get lazy on defense. This team has had good intensity on that end of the floor all half long. You don't want to ruin it by giving Camden some easy looks here as we go down the stretch.
And Brookdale has had trouble managing leads in the past. Kerry Kirkwood watching the clock go down. This is Little inside with 4, lays it in. I don't think Camden's going to get a shot off here. That's of good quality. Allen, actually, that was some nice air underneath that one, not able to knock it home. So at halftime, it is 43-25 the score, as Brookdale has just completely dominated in this first half, as I'm sure Coach Chizak is fairly pleased going into the locker room, as they have just had a really, really good first half. So, Brian, as you kind of try to digest all this, let's first look at the things that Brookdale has done and how their performance has been. What have you seen so far? We've seen lots of nice plays by Jordan Little. Of course, the 2 Kirkwood brothers, which we always talk about, are good guys for Brookdale on the offensive side. But what have you seen in particular that has allowed Brookdale to build up such a lead so far?
I think it starts on the defensive end, and, you know, that's the big thing that Coach Chizak preaches. And that intensity on the defensive end, gave up that 3 late, so you don't want to give up too many of those when you come out in the second half and play like you did a week ago and get out with another victory here tonight.
And then for Camden, what exactly are they going to have to do? Because right now they have not had a whole lot of offense so far.
Yeah, I think they really have to regroup, change what they're doing offensively, try to find a way to get more of a rhythm offensively, try to get more looks from the 3-point line to cut into this deficit.
All right, so we're going to send it down now to a third man of our broadcast team, Nick Vocatoro, on the sidelines for a report.
I'm here with the Brookdale basketball head coach, Paul Chizak. Paul, after an 81-79 loss this past Saturday against Union, what adjustments have you guys made with the controlling lead entering the second half?
Well, I don't think we played off that bad at Union. We just it was a high-intensity game, and we just made some mistakes. I think tonight what we did was we came out with a little more intensity, got the ball inside, which is one of our strengths. We're running a little bit, and we're getting out of glass. Played a little zone at the end. We tried it out. I'm not a zone guy, but we gave it a little bit. You know, we're just playing at a high level right now, and hopefully the second half will do the same.
The team is playing great, and overall team basketball. Any adjustments? No, that is all. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Minds can achieve anything. We make sure they get to college. Federal student aid provides more than $150 billion in grants, loans, and work-study funds to make college possible for anyone with the mind to get there. Because if given the chance, minds will do great things. Federal Student Aid, proud sponsor of the American Mind. Learn more about money for college at studentaid.gov.
Enter the growing field of healthcare. It is projected that more than 56,000 jobs will be added through 2018, according to New Jersey Department of Labor and Workforce Development. Brookdale's healthcare training programs provide you with the necessary skills to be successful in this expanding field of healthcare. Our Certified Nurse Aide program, or commonly referred to as CNA, is a New Jersey Department of Health and Senior Services approved program. You will be trained for employment in a nursing home, assisted living, or long-term care facility. Through lecture, lab practice, and skills testing, students learn physical and psychosocial care skills, along with ethical concepts. Upon completion of the program, students are prepared to sit for certification.
Students who become CNAs usually become successful with a lifetime of caring and with a lot of personal satisfaction. If they decide to stay in healthcare, whether they continue their education or not, they will have a fundamental base of nursing skills to carry them into whatever career they choose in the future.
This program, along with the Certified Home Health Aide and Patient Care Technician, are approved as prerequisites for the AAS in nursing at Brookdale. For information, call 732-224-2813 or go to brookdalecc.edu/healthcare training. Early registration is strongly encouraged as most healthcare programs have limited enrollment. Begin a successful career in healthcare with Brookdale's short-term training programs. Many programs prepare students for state or national certification. Of the major occupational groups, employment in healthcare support occupations is expected to grow most rapidly through 2020, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Our highly qualified instructors hold master's degrees or industry certifications and are working in the healthcare field. They bring their educational and work experience to the classroom.
I strive to provide students with the necessary knowledge and hands-on skills to confidently serve patients in the healthcare setting.
In our Medical Assistant Certificate program, you will be trained to be proficient in all aspects of a medical office through lecture, lab practice, and mock testing. Skills include administering EKGs, performing phlebotomy, scheduling appointments, and assisting with minor emergency procedures, to name a few. Our Certified Nurse Aide program, or commonly referred to as CNA, is a New Jersey Department of Health and Senior Services approved program. You will be trained for employment in a nursing home, assisted living, or long-term care facility. Through lecture, lab practice, and skills testing, students learn physical and psychosocial care skills, along with ethical concepts. Upon completion of the program, students are prepared to sit for certification.
Students who become CNAs usually become successful with a lifetime of caring and with a lot of personal satisfaction. If they decide to stay in healthcare, whether they continue their education or not, they will have a fundamental base of nursing skills to carry them into whatever career they choose in the future.
This program, along with the Certified Home Health Aide and Patient Care Technician, are approved as prerequisites for the AAS in nursing at Brookdale. Our RN Refresher program is an important course for nurses looking to re-enter the field of nursing.
The RN Refresher program is a unique program that offers theory, skills practice, and simulation learning for nurses to prepare to re-enter into the field of nursing. We are an approved provider of contact hours by the New Jersey State Nurses Association.
We offer many continuing nursing education programs to fulfill license requirements. Be a part of healthcare. For information, call the Office of Business and Community Development at 732-224-2813 or go to brookdalecc.edu/healthcare training. Early registration is strongly encouraged as most healthcare programs have limited enrollment.
I'm Dan Schroll, Professor of Graphic Design at Brookdale Community College. Graphic design, I use the example sometimes for students who may be sitting at a table, and I'll pick up a small sugar packet and explain that a graphic designer does that. And from that small packet, anything up to a huge billboard. It's a visual communication tool. We're all involved in it. We all are guided by it. It's a huge field. There are many, many different options a student can have and go into and feed from as long as they start with the basic fundamentals of the graphic design profession, which we offer here at Brookdale Community College.
Hi, my name is Colin Caney, and I'm a graphic design student at Brookdale Community College. Everything that was available for us, the computers, the programs, everything were amazing. I mean, it made it so much easier because everything was just right there for us to use, and it made everything that we did a lot easier.
Hi, my name is Gabriela Sheps. I'm a current student at Brookdale, and I'm taking classes on the graphic design program. I have a background in graphic design back in South America. I was going to school and I was looking for, returning to school, and this was a convenient school for me, pretty close to my house, and they have a program that I can do it.
We have two options in the graphic design program. We have an AAS degree, which leads to a terminal degree that puts the student right into the industry after graduating from Brookdale, which quite a number of students have done and have become extremely successful. We have the other option, the AA degree, which is a transfer degree, which I encourage students to participate in. It enables them to transfer to a four-year art school or college or university to further their studies in the more conceptual part of graphic design.
I got an internship through Dan Schroll, my professor. I got it at the end of this past semester, and it was redesigning the layout of the brochure for a group out of St. Barnabas Hospital called the Institute for Prevention. It's turning out to be amazing. I can't wait to see the finished printed product. So, on top of that, it's the first thing that I've done that'll be printed, that'll be distributed with my work on it, and I'm very excited because a lot of people, I don't know how many, but a lot of people will see that. So, it'll be very exciting to know that my work is somewhere circulating around and everyone gets to see it.
It's an exciting program. The opportunities are tremendous. Now's the time to really look at a career in a field like this because of the vast potential that it offers, and not just graphic design, but peripheral subjects like illustration, typography, printing. There's many different aspects of the field that are outside of what's called graphic design, but is a very strong part of doing this as a career.
Hi, my name is Claudia Chera. I'm a graphic design student and photography major in Brookdale Community College. I have a lot of freelance work coming in because of my graphic design teacher. He was really great on always promoting me and giving me, people that I can call, and they gave me work. And for me, in a sense, it's great that I changed my whole career into the graphic design department, because if you really have a passion for it, you always have work. You always have work.
There's a great program. Come and see it. You have to believe in your possibilities, and you will love it here. You will really like it here. So come on in.
Students make the program. The students really go far beyond their the normal workload and contribute outside of class and really make the program what it is, a very strong program. I think we give a very, very strong fundamental background, kind of nuts and bolts foundation, and they do a really good job.
Hi, I'm Ed O'Neill. I'm head of the architecture program at Brookdale Community College. The architecture program at Brookdale Community College is a 2-year program, and what we do is prepare you for transfer to a 5-year program, which is at the baccalaureate level.
Hi, my name is Anthony Scalise, and I was an architecture student at Brookdale Community College.
My name is Pete Kozelski, and I was an architecture student at Brookdale Community College.
What was actually great about Brookdale for me is that I actually met my now business partner, Pete. We did meet at Brookdale. We were both students here. We developed a friendship, which was great. We kind of helped each other in school throughout. And who knew that, a few years later, we would be business partners and practicing the architecture that we were just learning. So yeah, for me, I think you look back and you really say, wow, that was something special.
The associate degree program at Brookdale is fairly unique. There are only one other program in the state of New Jersey like it. And our program really focuses on the first 2 years. So we mirror the first 2 years of a 5-year program's curriculum. I think our facilities, our attention to personal student needs far exceed what a university can do because we're smaller. We're more intimate. We have more one-on-one student interaction with faculty, learning assistants, and outside professionals.
My name is Nicole Boris, and I'm an architectural graduate from Brookdale Community College. The facilities were really great. We each got our own spot. We got our tables, the computers were great. We had a lot of printers. The teachers definitely introduced us to a lot of different technology aspects in terms of programs. So a lot of schools now are embracing the technology, and we got
last week, actually.
And we're back here in the Robert J. Collins Arena, getting ready to start the second half. Tim Kettlefemo alongside Brian Goudsward. Brookdale so far has had a dominating performance, and they lead 43-25 over the Camden Cougars. And Brian, we alluded to a little bit at the end of our break, but what does Camden have to do in this second half if they're going to have any chance of getting back in this game?
Well, we saw them make 1-3 toward the end of that first half, and that kind of gave them some jolt of excitement. I mean, for most of the first half, it was really dominated by the Jersey Blues. Maybe that shot kind of gets them going outside the half break. We'll see. But, you know, when you have an 18-point lead, you kind of want to finish off the game as soon as the second half starts. Don't continue to let this Camden team poke away at this lead.
So we'll see if Camden can try to rebound. Again, Brookdale starts out the second half on defense by virtue of winning the opening tip. This is number 21, Javier Worthy. Handed it off to Raheem Burnett. Camden needs a score to try to get back into this game. And a shot there from number 22, Justin Williams, off the mark. Long rebound pulled down by Burnett. No looks pass, tried to get it to his teammate Davis. Now this is right ahead of the field and lays it in with the right hand, very easily.
And it was Okalani on the other end of the floor, came away with the steal, and then the baseball-style pass to the other end of the floor to a streaking James Wright, who hits the layup.
Williams hands off to Worthy. Again, Brookdale sticking with this 2-3 zone. Well, I'll get to that in just a second. And is inside. Number 22, Williams, is fouled. I believe that'll be the second foul on Jordan Little. We'll have to check on that. But it will send, no, it's actually the first, So it's a first on Little, and it'll send Williams to the foul line. But as you heard during our halftime interview, Nico Vocatoro was interviewing Coach Chizak, and one of the things that he mentioned was the possibility of going to a 2-3 zone defense, which is something that Coach Chizak ordinarily is not something that he ordinarily would do. He's very happy and is very comfortable with a man-to-man defense. However, he may switch to zone. It's one of the things that he said, among other things at halftime, so we'll have to see how that plays out. Okalani, floater, knocks it down from the left wing, actually, just along the baseline.
And that time he turned down the three-point attempt. He thought about it, pump fake his defender in the air, and then gets the floater to go from the baseline.
Worthy kind of leaned into Harris and got a little bit of a distance. Shot clock down to 10. Stolen away there by Wright. Wright, 1-on-2, gonna take it himself. Throws it up there. The ball was partially blocked. And now here comes Camden with some numbers. This is Davis inside to number 15, Jackson, with the nice reverse layup.
And I thought Sky Harris might at least try to get a block on that shot, but clearly didn't want to pick up the personal foul, so he lets the reverse layup go.
Shot clock at 26. Kerry Kirkwood will inbound. This is Wright now. Inside the Little, along the left baseline, and he stepped on the baseline.
Yeah, Little trying to maneuver around Eric Davis, looking to turn around him, but then he lost where he was on the floor and has the 1 foot out of bounds, so it's a turnover for Brookdale.
This is Hanif Alexander out to his teammate in the right wing, number 22 Williams. Camden has not really driven inside too much in this game. Curious if they will do that in the second half, as this is Worthy, blocked away inside by Little, gets his own rebound. Shot clock should reset, it did not. And it'll be a shot clock violation.
Yeah, I don't think that initial shot wound up hitting the rim, so the shot clock winds up not resetting, and then the possession turns into a whole lot of confusion for the Cougars, and ball back to the Jersey Blues.
Speaking of his zone defense, it looks like that is what Camden is in right now, 2-3. As this is Kerry Kirkwood at the top of the arc. Okalani. Now back to Kirkwood. This is Wright. Drive inside, and he again stepped on the baseline. However, there could be a foul on the floor, and it is going to be on 21, yeah.
Yeah, Worthy picks up the personal. That's his first, and I, too, thought what you did, that James Wright stepped out of bounds on his way to the rim, but fouled before that happened, so they retain possession.
It's a fresh 30 now for Brookdale. Harris now at the top of the arc, feeds it inside the Little, one-on-one with Jackson, turn around, lays it in with the nice hook shot. And Brookdale back up by 20, 49-29.
And Little just makes it look easy when he gets positioned down on the low block and he gets the basketball in his hand. So effortless scoring down low.
This is Davis, and a nice teardrop jumper from the foul line is good. And Brookdale quickly back up the floor. Okalani inside to Little, forces it up, no good, and a rebound to Worthy. Worthy spins his way out of traffic, goes right over Sky Harris, and Sky Harris is going to be called with a blocking foul. Bodies flying all over the place that time.
Yes, both Little and Harris hit the deck, and that's a lot of body weight hitting the floor with those two going down. Second time this game that Sky Harris has tried to draw the charge, but the officials have called it a blocking foul.
And as a result, it's the third foul on Harris, the second on the team. And at the line now, Javier Worthy, the freshman forward, who has had a fairly quiet game, as is the rest of the Camden Cougars, makes the first foul shot. Keyshawn Kirkwood comes in and is now on the floor with his brother, as Sky Harris, who committed that last foul, is walking over to the bench. Meanwhile, Worthy at the foul line, able to knock both down. 49-33 is the score, with the Jersey Blues out front. Little lost it underneath, and did he step on the baseline again? Yes, but there's going to be a foul on the floor on number 21, Javier Worthy. Again, I thought that he had stepped on the baseline, because that's where the official originally pointed to, but my mistake. Another foul on Worthy. That's his second. Okalani inside. And finally pulled down there, the rebound by Davis.
And he ripped it away from a couple of Jersey Blues that time, as here's a traveling call at midcourt.
And Andre Allen picked up his dribble right at half court. Nobody was there to help him out as an outlet, and he's called with the traveling. 4 minutes gone by here in the second half. Brookdale so far has remained in command. Keyshawn Kirkwood over to his brother Kerry. Top of the arc three. Front rim no good. And now Keyshawn with the rebound. Okalani rattles it home inside.
And that time just gliding to the rim was Okalani. Again, turning down the outside shot for an easier look, and he gets the layup.
And now we're going to get a foul on the other end, as it will go on Keyshawn Kirkwood. That's the second foul on Kirkwood, and it will send Javier Worthy to the foul line again, where he just was a few moments ago.
Javier Worthy, just one of those guys who has a knack for drawing the contact, creating opportunities for him at the free throw line. We'll see if he's able to cash in.
Slight tie-up as we make sure that the court is all clean and dry. See a couple of the Camden players there walking away. They were actually meeting with Coach Batista. That was Allen and Alexander, as Worthy knocks down the first foul shot.
I always find it funny, the difference in volume when you have free throws being shot than the rest of the game. It's just so much quieter.
And Worthy able to knock them both down. So Camden is not out of this by any means, but Brookdale, I don't think is necessarily too worried about Camden at this point. Ball being swung around to the perimeter. Now back to Keyshawn Kirkwood for a three. Off the mark. Little tried to come away with the rebound. Instead, it's Allen. Now feeds it up to Alexander. Back to Allen with 22 on the shot clock for Camden. Camden, again, very far away from where the three-point line is. I'm not sure why they're running an offense so far away. Shot clock continuing to wind down to 7. This is Alexander. Gives it off to Allen. Left arc three, and he hits it.
Well, that was a rather bizarre possession, to say the least. You were right. They were all huddled around the mid-court line, just sharing the ball, and wind up making a three at the end of it. Brookdale's got to be careful. The deficit is down to 13 right now, and they've kind of gone cold on the offensive end, not making shots right now.
Again, Brookdale, just to give you an idea of how this second half has gone, they had a 43-25 lead at halftime as James Wright is on the foul line. So far, pending these free throws by Wright, as he knocks down the first one. Now, Brookdale has scored 9 points so far, while Camden has scored 13. So Camden so far is outscoring Brookdale in this second half. However, they're going to have to do more of that to climb out of the hole. But as you mentioned, Brian, Camden's starting to close back in to Brookdale as Coach Chisak possibly sensing that and is going to call a timeout with 14:37 left here in the second half. Again, Jersey Blues lost their last game, which was a couple of days ago on November 12th, 81-79, hoping to try to pick that up here and get away with a win for their second home win this year. We'll take a break and come back to the Collins Arena right after this.
When I was divorced, I needed to rediscover who I was. I had no career or college degree. My divorce attorney was so supportive. Working with her helped me realize I have what it takes for a career in law. I joined the paralegal program at Brookdale, and I got a great base to build a career on. Now I'm working as a paralegal at Ansel, Grimm & Aaron, and I love it. I'm Michelle Mulcairn, and I went to Brookdale for a new start. I never imagined I would find my calling.
I'm Celeste Chericello, and I'm the Design Department Chair here at Brookdale. I've been the Design Department Chair for the past 6 years, and the Design Department has 3 programs: Architecture, Interior Design, and Graphic Design. The great thing about our department is that the professors, the adjuncts, the learning assistants all support the students.
Back here in the Collins Arena, 14:37 left here in this second half. Brookdale has so far been in control. Tim Catalfamo with the call alongside Brian Goudsward. However, Camden last few minutes has closed a little bit. This is Allen, back out to Alexander. Now back to Allen, straight on three, and he knocks it down. Camden showing a little bit of life these last few minutes and starting to close in on Brookdale. Now the lead down to 12.
And Keyshawn Kirkwood that time trying to come away with the contest, but unable to get enough of it, and the three-pointer goes down.
And we have seen Brookdale last season struggle with maintaining leads as Wright goes inside with a reverse layup, doesn't go. Rebound pulled down by Amenbola. But right now, Camden starting to dangerously close in on Brookdale's double-digit lead. Again, Brookdale still in a man-to-man defense. They have not shied away from that so far in this game. Alexander, another three. That's short. Rebound put back up by Jackson, and now we're going to get a jump ball. And the possession now is going to go back to Brookdale. Coach Batista, I believe, wanted a foul on the floor. He won't win that argument, and the ball will go back to the Jersey Blues.
Yeah, and I don't know about the jump ball call. It just didn't look like there was a Brookdale player who had enough of that basketball to create a tie-up situation, but Jersey Blues will take it.
Right inside, muscles it up with no foul, and we'll get the rebound. Amenbola.
The officials definitely letting him play a little bit, not calling a whole lot of contact that we've seen down low.
And so far, only 16 fouls total on both sides, 3 for each team. This is right ahead of the field, lays it in with the right hand after a nice job by Okalani picking up the loose change.
And very often it is Okalani either blocking a shot or coming away with a steal and then knowing where his teammates are to find them in positions where they can make baskets.
And Brookdale now quickly back up to a 14-point lead. Couple of substitutions, getting ready to chicken on both sides of the next whistle. Ball almost stolen away there. This is Abimbola. This is now Allen inside, and he draws the foul.
And he was hit hard on his way to the rim. Did they get Jordan Little on that personal? Yes.
Yeah, they are going to call it on Little. That'll be his second foul. And the 14th foul on Brookdale. And it'll send Andre Allen, who has had a very nice evening so far, to the foul line and is able to rattle in the first one. Matthew Ringel and Jordan Hernandez come in for Brookdale as Abimbola and Jackson go to the bench for Camden. Coming in for them, Clemens and I believe Eric Davis also on the floor now. Javier Worthy is checked back in. Hanif Alexander goes out. And I'm trying to look for who came in for him. I believe that is Justin Williams. Allen 1 of the 2 from the line. It's still a 13-point lead. Keyshawn Kirkwood for 3. And the ball goes into where the cheerleaders are. And Coach Chizek not happy with that call, but the ball going the other way. Thought that Camden may have touched it last. However, I didn't see that, but
yeah, there were 2 Camden defenders down low, and it was Jordan Little for Brookdale who evidently knocked it out of bounds, giving possession to the Cougars.
This is Worthy in the corner. Over to Justin Williams. So as I mentioned, one of the players who checked back in, stolen away by Hernandez. She got to keep it himself, goes to the hole, lays it in, and the foul.
And, you know, that was one thing we saw a lot of from Jordan Hernandez in the game against Bergen, that, of course, Brookdale had the blowout win. He anticipates the passing lane so well, able to come away with many steals and then create opportunities on the fast break. Here, a 3-point play.
Foul is officially going to be charged to number 44, Jameer Clemens. And it's another double-digit lead for Brookdale, now 16. This is Clemens at the top of the arc. Over to Justin Williams, and we're going to get an offensive foul away from the ball on number 21, Javier Worthy, for the Camden Cougars. Actually, they're going to call the foul on Eric Davis, his third. That's 5 team fouls now on the Cougars.
For the moment, looks like Davis will stay on the floor, but I think he's going to get set to check out in foul trouble with those 3 personals.
Keyshawn Kirkwood had it stolen away in the corner. Now here is Allen one-on-one with Kerry Kirkwood. Not able to quite adjust to the contact. This is Justin Williams. Now back out to number 21, Worthy. Ball still loose and thrown away there by Clemens. Nice effort, though, by Camden, at least trying. But the Cougars are beginning to run out of time as Brookdale has really been in control of this game all night long.
Yeah, they have. You know, they haven't gotten to the point where it turns out to be a blowout. Camden has made just enough plays to keep it in that range of about a 15-point deficit to where they are at least within striking distance if they go on a big run.
Keyshawn Kirkwood feeds it inside to Matthew Ringel. Ringel may have gotten away with an extra step, but he's able to lay it in.
I thought so too, but the officials don't call it, and Ringel, a nice move on the low block to score.
Justin Williams almost had it stolen away by Keyshawn Kirkwood. And now, are we going to get a holding call on Jordan Hernandez, who was holding the jersey of number 21, Javier Worthy. Sky Harris and Ronkevius Clardy check in for both Camden and Brookdale as Kerry Kirkwood goes to the bench, as well as number 21, Javier Worthy for Camden. Clardy having a lot of difficulty inbounding. This is Clemens, who was working it against Jordan Little down low, was not able to finish. Now Hernandez bumped, puts the shot up. No, Little forces it back up and in.
And Little just that time outwilling 2 or 3 Camden players that were down near the basket. He comes away with the offensive rebound and will not be denied on that second chance.
A little bit of pushing and shoving inside by Clemens and Little. We'll have to be careful, as this again is Clardy driving it inside with the left hand, not able to finish. There was some contact there. Keyshawn Kirkwood over to Hernandez, and Hernandez lays it in.
And really nice job that time by a pair of freshmen on the same page, as Camden needs a timeout with the lead now. Brookdale's gotten it back over 20 here, 64-42.
It's a 22-point lead, the largest lead that Brookdale has had all game long. And we're going to keep it here for the moment as, again, Brookdale in this game trying to continue to pull away as, again, as I mentioned, they lost their last game, which was on the 12th to Union, 81-79. And in that game, Coach Chizek was telling me before, during pregame warmups, that simply it wasn't so much that his team played poorly, it's that he felt personally he didn't do a good enough job as a coach, coaching his team in those closing minutes. And right now, everything seems to be going smoothly for Brookdale. They have been dominant so far in this game. They started out that way, and from, I would say, the 5-minute mark of the first half, Brookdale has been able to hold consistently a double-digit lead, and right now Camden just doesn't have any answers.
Yeah, and you know, I was talking before how they were at least within striking distance, where if they mounted a big run, they could get back in this game. And then right as I said that, Brookdale said, well, we're not going to let them get back in the game. We're going to bring this lead up over 20, which they did, executing in the fast break again. Kerry Kirkwood, Keyshawn Kirkwood, and Jordan Hernandez is one guy who's played a real big role tonight, made some big plays for the Jersey Blues.
So again, after that timeout, Camden will inbound next to their bench. Down by 22 at this point. Gonna need to go on a run. They started to go on a run around the 14-minute mark of the second half. However, that since then, they've kind of gone cold. Inside, that's a nice shot by Justin Williams. But right now, in order for Camden to get back in, they're gonna have to go on a run. They're gonna have to go on it soon because they're starting to run out of time. Coach Chizak almost gets bopped in the head with the basketball on the sidelines. He's got some quick moves down there. Always alert. 25th season as head coach for the Jersey Blues. 2013 NJCAA Division III Coach of the Year, Coach Chizak is. And he led this team to a national title in the same year of 2013.
And that's how you get to be Coach of the Year. You win the whole thing.
This is Worthy in the corner with the shot clock starting to wind down. Now Clardy. The shot clock now down to 7, guarded very closely by Kirkwood. Dante Whipple is checked into the game. He's now guarding Clardy, and Clardy called for the traveling.
And, you know, we didn't see a lot of Whipple in the game last week, and then remember the first time he touched the ball, he was called for that traveling violation, so he's hoping for a little better contributions here in this game.
Yeah, if I'm remembering from last week's game, Dante Whipple had some foul trouble, and as a result wasn't really able to play very much, but now he's on the floor. Jordan Little is on the bench, as well as Keyshawn Kirkwood. James Wright is also there. Sky Harris is going to be fouled in the right wing, and I believe that's going to be on Clardy. That's his third. Sixth foul on Camden as Clardy will check out. Fields, along with Abimbola, will come in. Clemens, number 44, as you see, Clardy also goes to the bench. Fresh 30 for Brookdale trying to inbound. Harris working against Abimbola, and believe there's going to be an offensive foul away from the ball on number 14, Jordan Hernandez. No, they're called on Dante Whipple. It's the first one on Whipple. Almost stolen away there by Keyshawn Kirkwood, who has had extremely quick hands all night long. Both Kirkwood brothers have been a beast for Camden, who's ever dribbling the ball. Stolen away there by Hernandez ahead of the field, lays it in with the left hand.
And just beautifully done. We say it time and time again, defense into offense, gets the steal on one end, takes it coast to coast for the easy two.
And again, right now, Camden seems to be playing very far away. She's almost stolen away there by Dante Whipple, and the ball is actually going to be last touched by number 21, Javier Worthy. But going back to what I was saying, right now, we're going to take a replay of something. No, never mind. Sky Harris with a three is off the mark. But as I was saying, right now, Camden seems to be playing a lot of their offense near midcourt, which I'm not quite understanding, Brian. Do you?
I do not understand it. I mean, the bottom line is they just have not been able to get much going offensively, and I guess just trying anything they can to get some offense. It's been a rather bizarre game, I would have to agree.
Matthew Ringel inside, who is another player who's come off the bench, lays it in. Another one of those freshmen that Coach Chuzak has raved about. And Brookdale continues to pad their lead, now up by 24. It's a long shot by Alexander. He falls down looking for a foul. Rebound by Worthy. Not able to fall in. Dante Whipple almost loses it. Now this is Jordan Hernandez for Brookdale. Ringel back to Kirkwood now in the corner for Hernandez. Off the mark. Whipple there with the weak side rebound, not able to connect underneath the basket. There was contact, no call. And now here comes Camden with Williams going coast to coast. Has it blocked away by Ringel at the other end. And now we're finally going to get a foul on number 15, Anthony Jackson.
Ringel doing a good job that time. Transition defense, not allowing the easy basket. Just got enough of the ball to get a piece of it. And Brookdale now to go to the free throw line with the Cougars in foul trouble.
So it will send number 14. We're going to take a replay now that we have a moment as Jordan Hernandez is at the line. Makes the first end of the 1-and-1. So let's take a look at what happens here. This is Coach Chuzak on the sidelines. Watch his quick hands here, watch. Look at that. Tries to kick it to himself. Now I understand why you were saving that, because that's well, I don't know if he's going to find that very humorous that we're kind of poking fun of him, but when you have a huge lead, 70-44, it's a storyline. Give and go inside. Javier Worthy couldn't finish. Now here is Allen, and Allen will be fouled before he gets to the lane. And we'll see who they're going to call this time. It'll be Kerry Kirkwood. That is his second foul. And now both teams are in the bonus. So Andre Allen will go to the foul line for the first end of a 1-and-1. Allen makes the first foul shot. Raheem Burnett comes in. Number 10, Hanif Alexander comes out. And I expect that this is most likely going to be the squad for Brookdale, at least, that is going to stay on the floor pending any foul trouble, because right now you see guys such as Jordan Little and Keyshawn Kirkwood on the sidelines. James Wright is also there. Matthew Ringel almost lost control of it, gets it back, fadeaway jumper, air ball, rebound, Sky Harris, a lot of contact, gets us another rebound, puts up, it's blocked. But Hernandez gives the Jersey Blues another fresh 30. Dante Whipple tries his luck from behind the three-point line, and he hits it.
And that's one thing that Dante Whipple can do. We saw that last week, the ability to step out from behind the three-point line and knock it down.
Looks like Samson Orianitolo is going to check in at the next buzzer along with Will Kosis for Brookdale. And for Camden, trying to build on something here. They're going to foul inside. And it'll be a shooting foul, for Raheem Burnett. The foul officially will be charged to Kerry Kirkwood. That's his third foul and the 18th foul for Brookdale.
And I think he'll be set to check out. No reason for him to be in. One of the starting players, game being lopsided, but shows what I know. He's staying in.
So let's see. Looks like Matthew Ringel and Sky Harris go to the bench for Brookdale. Samson Orianitolo and Will Kosis come in. Burnett still at the foul line. Second one on the way. Front rim no good. And Orianitolo grabs his first rebound of the night. Whipple tried to feed it to a cutting Will Kosis, and it'll stay here on the floor. Coach Batista cannot believe that call, as he could have sworn that Brookdale touched it last, but I think one of the Camden players hit the ball off of his foot, if I'm not mistaken, as it's just been a long night for Coach Batista. Orianitolo inside, can't finish underneath. He was working it against number 15, Anthony Jackson. However, it will stay here.
Orianitolo, another one of those high-energy players coming off the bench, and another guy with a lot of size, like Jordan Little, 6'9". That's a luxury for Brookdale to have two players with that kind of height.
And plus, if you factor in Matthew Ringel, who's 6'6", there's
Will
a lot of
Kosis
players
as well.
Yeah, a lot of players over that 6'4" range. And so we have another foul on this end of the floor. And it will send number 21, Javier Worthy, to the line. Yeah, I'm just looking at this lineup here for Brookdale. You have Kerry Kirkwood, who's officially listed at 6 feet. Then you have Kyle Bradshaw, who's not playing tonight because he has a bad ankle sprain. He'll be back next week. James Wright, 6'3". Zachary Okalani, 6'4". Whipple, 6'3". Jordan Hernandez, 6'2". Kosis, 6'5". Orianitolo is 6'9". Harris, Little, and Ringel all over at least 6'3". So a lot of height advantage for Brookdale down low. One of the reasons, I think, why Camden has had such a problem tonight, particularly from guys such as Jordan Little down low. So Worthy finishes his duties at the foul line. 73-49, under 5 minutes to play here in this second half. That would have been a heck of a first half score. Kosis in the corner now, directing traffic. Kerry Kirkwood pulls up for a three. Back iron, no good, and a rebound to Andre Allen. Nice feed inside to Jackson, and Jackson is going to get the basket and the foul.
Yeah,
so
that was a really nice look by Worthy off that baseline drive and able to find Anthony Jackson right underneath the basket. Something here for Camden to be excited about, a chance at a three-point play.
Number 33, Emmanuel Abimbola, checks out.
I must say, that's a pretty fun name to say, too.
Abimbola has had a relatively quiet night. Again, the deficit is still 22. And Brookdale easily in control, as they have been for much of this game. Whipple, a three, in and out. And a foul underneath on Wilcosis. Young Lee getting ready to check in. We saw him in the last game, who actually had a pretty decent performance coming off of the bench in the blowout win that Brookdale had last time they were here at home against Bergen, where they won by a score of 104-71. At the line again, Anthony Jackson. Foul officially again on Wilcosis. As he rattles it in, Young Lee checks in. Kerry Kirkwood, that'll probably be the last time we see Kirkwood tonight. Both of the Kirkwood brothers have played very well, as you see him getting high fives all around on the sidelines. Second foul shot on the way for Jackson is good. So here is Young Lee, the 5'9" freshman from Morganville, New Jersey. Hernandez a three. Tippin didn't go for Ianitolo. And at the other end, Ianitolo couldn't come away with that rebound. And now we're going to have a foul inside, as Eric Davis was going up hard with the basketball.
And, you know, going back to the last possession, I just don't like the idea for Brookdale to be taking shots early in the shot clock. You're up by 20 at this point. You're inside of 4 minutes. Take the shot clock down and, you know, consume some of this clock.
Davis's first attempt from the foul line is a little too strong. I agree with you, Brian. I'm not quite sure why Brookdale is forcing the issue. They can easily run out the clock fairly easily, and I don't think Camden's going to contest it too much, being that they are up by 19 points. Again, we'll have a post-game interview coming up. Our sideline reporter, Nico Vocatoro. After the game, Young Lee again controlling the ball. Shot clock winding down. Down the three, Lee has it taken away. And I believe Allen either stepped on the baseline or we have a foul, and I think it's going to be the latter of those two.
Yeah, Young Lee picks up the personal. I thought he was out of bounds, but must have been shoved there by Young Lee, who will pick up his first.
So Andre Allen, who's had a nice night for Camden, at the foul line again, the freshman forward. Excuse me, freshman guard, that is. And for Camden, not really sure how many positives you can take away from this game other than they had a decent start to the game, but really, after about 5 minutes early on, it became apparent that Brookdale was the better team.
Yeah, it's a disappointing outing for them all the way around. You know, this wasn't a game where Brookdale got behind 8-0 and then turned it on for the rest of the game. Yeah, they pretty much were in control of this game from the get-go, and very few times in this game did it look like Camden was even going to keep it close.
Yeah, we saw that at last time against Bergen, the last home game that we called here last Tuesday, where Brookdale actually didn't start out all that well, where they had an 8-point deficit in the first few minutes, but then were able to come roaring back and then completely dominate in the second half. If I'm remembering correctly, the first half score was fairly close, but Brookdale was able to really come out very strong in that second half. Stolen away there by Hernandez in a losing effort with the baseline. Fans begin to file out here at the Collins Arena, feeling that the Jersey Blues have gotten this one pretty much locked up.
I would agree.
And again, the next game for Brookdale will be this Tuesday.
Another week in between games.
Yeah. You saw some of the women Jersey Blues on the sidelines there as Orianitolo brings down a board. Yeah, the next game for Brookdale will be here November 22nd, 2 days before Thanksgiving, as that is Hernandez I believe they're going to count that basket as he will go to the line and try to complete the three-point play. But yes, the next game will be Middlesex County College, which is in no way an easy game. Middlesex has had a very dominant team, both on the women and the men's side for the last couple of years. That'll be at home. Then the next game after that will be a week from November 22nd and the 29th when Rowan College at Gloucester County comes in. So a couple of nice home games for Brookdale as we wind down the month of November.
And we talked about that this was a matchup with Camden where oftentimes you get close games. We did with on the women's side, they wind up losing in the first game of this doubleheader, but again, the men's team, another just strong performance on the home floor.
Clardy over to Davis. And with just 3 left on the shot clock, we have a foul called on the floor. That'll obviously go against Brookdale. We'll see who it's officially going to be charged on. And it'll be on Jordan Hernandez, his third. So Brookdale has maxed out on fouls. They were in a double bonus and a losing effort. Hi, guys. Hi, how are you? Hello. Hanging out here on top of the skybox. You notice that we are sitting down as opposed to standing up. Usually, and we were just talking about this a couple moments ago, how we both like to stand when we are calling a game. Well, now we're sitting down because we feel the game has kind of taken a close. So anyway, just a little interesting tidbit for you there. 77-57. Young Lee double teamed. Orion Nitolo over to Hernandez, back to Orion Nitolo. And they're going to count the basket and the foul. Wow. Orion Nitolo really wanted to throw that one down. You saw that, but there was so much contact. Somehow that ball went in. And Orion Nitolo gets on the board.
It was a strange play. He was looking to throw that down with authority. Just couldn't. He'll settle for the kind of awkward layup and a chance to make it three as he misses the free throw. But he is a high-energy guy, fun to watch.
6'9" sophomore forward from Cliffwood, New Jersey. Clardy can't hit on the other end. Young Lee maybe wanting to get on the board. Kickball going to be called on number 15, Anthony Jackson.
And again, Brookdale here with a 22-point lead, but are they slowing down the pace? No, not at all. Looking to take it to the rim on fast breaks. At this point, inside a minute and a half, just milk the clock. That's really all you have left to do. I mean, as I said last week, you have to admire the aggressiveness to a degree, but you really can tone it down.
I think some of the players who don't get a whole lot of opportunities on the floor, such as what we just saw with Orion Nitolo, even guys like Dante Whipple, Young Lee, maybe wanting to get their name on the box score a little bit and try to rack up some points and get some experience. But I agree with you, Brian, absolutely, that with a huge lead that Brookdale has, their objective really is just to run out the clock. Camden's not really challenging it in any way. And for Coach Abatista, it's going to be a long drive home tonight. As this is a shocker, we did definitely not expect this. A lot of the games these last two teams have played have been very close. Again, before tonight, the last time these two teams played was back in the Region 19 semifinals on February 27th earlier this year, where Brookdale squeaked by with a win, 74-72. That's definitely not the case tonight. Brookdale's going to win, but by a much larger margin.
That's just an unnecessary shot delivered by Jordan Hernandez there on Justin Williams.
And for Hernandez, I believe that's going to be his 4th foul. Yes, it is. His 4th foul on Hernandez. So it has sent Justin Williams to the foul line. Makes the first shot. Again, coming up next week, we'll be back here in the Collins Arena on Tuesday as the women and the men have off till then. The women will take on Middlesex County College at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, while the men will take them on at 7. Brian and I will be along for that call next Tuesday, 2 days before Thanksgiving. And for Brookdale, a nice way to rebound from the loss a few days ago on the 12th to Union, up at Union, 81-79 in a close one. And was that young Lee there with the basket, Brian, or was that Jordan Hearn? Or excuse me, no, I'm sorry, Camden's still shooting. Tells you how long it's been of a night for us. And I think Brookdale will be content to dribble out the clock. So the Jersey Blues will advance to 2-1 on the year. The Camden Cougars will fall to 1-2. Brookdale will split the games tonight at the Collins Arena, and they win by a score of 81-62. So again, what a game for Brookdale, Brian. I mean, not really a whole lot more you can say other than Brookdale was just the better team tonight and really showed very early on in the first half that.
Yeah, and at both ends of the floor, really an impressive job, whether it was the defense getting blocked shots early, getting steals, and then on the other end of the floor, making some threes, getting to the rim, getting some easy baskets. That kind of got them feeling good about themselves going into the second half, and then they were able to make enough plays to put the game out of reach as they got the lead over 20, and once that happened, it was pretty much good night from there, and another good performance by the Jersey Blues.
And then for Coach Batista's squad for Camden, what is your takeaway from tonight? They had a lack of offense definitely in the second half, but any positives that you can pull away at all in this Camden team?
I think they did look a little better in the second half after really kind of looking confused for a lot of the first half, but were able to make some shots, kind of got the lead down to about 15 at one point in that third quarter, but then just couldn't get it any further than that, and Brookdale able to get some steals, made some plays in transition, got the lead back up to 20, and so for Camden, really not a whole lot of positives you take from this one.
And again, Brookdale gets the win. They improve to 2-1 on the year, while Camden falls to 1-2. The next time that you will see us, and the next time you will see both of the two teams, the women and the men, on the floor in the Collins Arena will again be next Tuesday when they come back home to take on Middlesex County College. Coverage for those two games starts at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, with the women taking the floor first, and then of course the men will follow when that game wraps up approximately sometime around 7 p.m. The two women's games that we've called so far this year have gone a little bit long, so that's pushed the men's games back just a little bit. But again, we'll have that call live for you here on Brookdale Television. And again, not much more you can say about the Brookdale Jersey Blues other than they just had a really, really excellent year and an excellent game, and couldn't have asked for a better start to the season. So now let's go down to our sideline reporter, Nico, who's standing by, I believe, with Coach Chizak.
I'm here with sophomore forward Sky Harris. Sky, you drew the start for the first time this year, and you recorded 8 points as well as 8 rebounds, 7 of them coming on the offensive end. How were you able to percolate as well as you did tonight?
Well, when it comes to rebounds, that's just something that you got to want to do. It's not something you could practice. It's more of like a hustle stat. And knowing that I had my first offensive start, I wanted to come out and prove, to the coaching staff and to everybody else, that I could do my thing.
You definitely played well tonight, and good luck next Tuesday against Middlesex.
I appreciate it.